All right, let's get into it.
Well, it's close enough to Friday for sure.
It is.
What are you smoking over there?
Sorry, I was just trying to get this thing lit. I forgot before we even started. I'm smoking one of our Victory cigars.
That are back in stock.
They are back in stock.
And this is the last
This is it.
batch. Once these sell out, it'll be on to the 5th edition.
So when we make cigars, we order, let's just say we order, for easy numbers, we order 1,000 cigars, right? When they make those, they can get really close to making just 1,000 cigars.
Right.
But most of the time they're not exact. So they just get tobacco and then they roll all of that. And then what's left?
Yeah.
After what we order.
They math it out.
Yeah.
And it's usually within like 5% of what we order.
Right. They're
Plus or
very
minus.
close.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we knew we were danger low on these, and we reached out to our factory, and we have an aging room down there that just cigars hang out in.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if we have a little bit of an overrun, they just get put in their little box in the aging room and they hang out. Yeah. And so we were like, hey, do you guys have any of these? Because 5th edition's coming soon.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure they don't get confused. And they're like, actually, we do have some left.
Yeah.
And we're like, awesome, send them.
Yep.
So we have them available on the website right now. They are in 10-count boxes.
Which I know upset Gonzalo
because they're his favorite cigar.
It's one of his favorite ones to smoke.
The guy who runs the factory, out of everything they make, the Victory cigar is his favorite cigar to smoke. So they sent them up. We got 10-count boxes available. And we do have some either singles or 5-packs until we only have boxes left. So
yeah.
But yeah, if you missed out on a Victory, or if you want to get some to save or collect or whatever you want to do, this is your chance.
So
for the 4th edition.
This puts us in an awkward position too, because we usually do the free Victory for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think we'll run out of these before then.
I know.
And I don't know that the 5th edition will be out.
We're going to hope, but if for some reason we don't have the Victory cigars available, we do have a solution.
Yeah.
And
there's a backup plan.
Yeah. So don't be it won't be a Victory, but it'll be.
It could be. If we still have some of these left, it will be. Or if we have the 5th edition by then,
if not, we have a third option.
Yeah.
And that option is delicious and phenomenal. But we'll put that out if and when that time comes. But go get your box of Victory.
This is the last time we're doing big fancy.
The boxes are a 10-count box. Each cigar comes with its own individual coffin.
Yeah.
And we will probably never do coffins again.
Yeah.
There's just a lot,
Our box factory wasn't happy with this.
Like if you order 1,000 boxes, that means they have to make 10,000 coffins.
Well, so let's just do the number on here. Let's do the number on, say, 1,000 cigars, right?
Yeah.
So 1,000 cigars divided by 20. Normally, they have to make 50 boxes to cover that.
Yeah.
1,000 divided by 10.
Yep.
So that's automatically 100.
Times 11.
Times 10.
Well, 11, because they have to make the box and then 10 coffins.
That's the 100.
Yeah.
So, they have to make, 1,100 boxes instead of 50.
Yeah. They were an app. But they look amazing.
Yeah. But if you want a box, I think there's only how many boxes?
Oh, I don't even know. I'll have to go count.
I think it's like 50 or 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not.
We got less than 100 boxes.
Yeah. That's what dealers order. So
that's it.
Yeah. So if you want a box,
it's first come, first serve. Yep. We don't hold for anyone. Speaking of stuff that we're limited on, we released a limited run of dumpster fire bundles that come in a dumpster.
Yeah.
And we only have a few of those left, but they're still available on the website. We haven't really pushed because we're just kind of letting the people that want them to come get them.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to this and you want one, you should probably come get it.
Yeah. Because the dumpsters that we did make for the dumpster fire cigars are the display pieces for the retailers to display the.
Yep.
And then when they get a new bundle, they put it back in the dumpster.
That's it.
Yeah. So we had a little bit of an overrun of them, and we had some requests. So we figured.
We had a lot of requests, actually.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second because, when we first put this out, we always said that this wasn't for sale. But we had an overwhelming amount of people that have reached out to us asking how they can get one.
Yeah.
And the reason that we don't do it with every single bundle is we're trying to keep the cost of that cigar low.
Right.
We're not trying to add that box cost into it. And that's why if you get the bundle with with that box, with that dumpster, it's going to be a lot more expensive than just by itself.
Yeah.
And it's because there's a lot of cost,
Right.
between the cost of the box, shipping it to get here,
But
all of that kind of stuff.
Normally, when we do a cigar, the price of the box is included in the cigar. But like
Right.
John said, we were trying to keep this one cheap. And then when we did boxes for it, we did it just in our minds. We did it just for the retailer.
Yeah.
So we
didn't even think about
Yeah.
maybe consumers are going to want
Right.
this too. No.
At most, we made like 300 dumpsters. That's it. Usually, when we do a run of cigar boxes, it's thousands and thousands and thousands.
Yep.
So that's why.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And then one more thing before we jump into all the fun information today. Our Valentine's Day sale is live. So jump on over to the website, get your sweetheart whatever she smokes, or somehow try to convince her maybe to get you something. I don't know if that's how the Valentine's Day. Have you ever got a Valentine's Day gift?
yeah, I'm sure I have.
Can you remember? Justin, have you?
I have, but it's like we don't go all out. Like I'll get her like flowers and
What did
like,
she get
chocolate
you?
dinner. I don't think I've ever gotten that.
That's what I mean.
Gift. Yeah.
This is a holiday for
it's
the,
like
the women.
It's like early Mother's Day. There's only one side of the relationship that's getting something.
So I hate Valentine's Day because I feel like it is the biggest like made up spend money for no reason kind of thing, right?
Hallmark holiday.
So if I give flowers on Valentine's Day, I feel like it's not me being genuine at all.
But
That's
I feel
valid.
I feel obligated.
yeah.
But so you can give flowers any other day of the year,
Yeah.
and it's like $9.99.
Right.
Oh.
Leading up to Valentine's Day, it's $100.
Yeah.
You want to talk about price gouging? Where are all these laws going after the people price gouging fucking roses?
Fuck yeah.
You know why all that shit in Colombia didn't pan out with the tariffs? It's because their largest export is roses.
Right. But I think it, in my mind, it would mean more to receive if I was a chick, like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, to receive flowers on a not Valentine's Day.
They hear me out. Okay, hear me out. Follow my logic. Let's see if this maths. Right? One of the most common things that women ask for in a relationship is time.
Yeah.
They want you to pay attention to them. They want you to hang out exclusively and not be distracted and give them your full sense of, full attention. Right. What better way to do that if the wife buys the husband cigars and they hang out together while he smokes them? He's not doing anything else.
Right.
He's just going to sit there and have a conversation with you
It's true.
for that entire cigar.
Yeah, it's a great bait.
You know what I
If you
mean?
want
Like,
time-
does that math, or am I in left
I
field?
think that
here?
math.
I mean, everybody in here, we have some listeners from Michigan in here too, and they're shit nodding their head, I mean, let's try it. Let's try it this Valentine's Day. So go to warfightertobacco.com.
Yeah, ladies, if you want time with your man, buy him some cigars.
And you don't have to go all out. Give him a 3-pack sampler.
Yeah.
Get him, just something.
That's 3 hours of his time.
But
guaranteed.
You'd be surprised on how willing he'd be like, yeah, honey, come have a seat. Let's do this.
Now,
can I pour whiskey too?
Now, if you're one of those uptight bitches that doesn't like your husband to smoke cigars because they stink or whatever, then you know what? I don't know I don't know how to help you.
Yeah, have fun being miserable.
Yeah, then you get rose on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you get to overspend money on shit that dies in a week because he's showing his undying love to you.
So I went and priced because we will be in Nicaragua for Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh, I could have flowers delivered to the house.
Nope.
And Abby would like that. I fucking priced that shit. I was like, Abby would be upset with me
Right.
Yes.
if she saw
Right.
how much I
Yeah.
spent.
If Abby's reasonable, she would be upset with you.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
the nice thing is she is like she likes flowers,
Right.
but she's like, I'd rather go to dinner. I'd rather us go do something
Yes.
and talk and spend time
Right.
instead of you just being like, here's some flowers. Like they're two different gifts.
I saw an amazing Valentine's Day gift the other day. I thought it was great. The chick likes whiskey, so the husband got her 4 Roses bourbon.
Oh,
For
good move.
Right? That's a good move.
Good
Like
move
here,
right there. 4
4 Roses, right? Like it's great. That's a
Absolutely.
great move.
Yeah. So if you get 3 bottles, that's a dozen, right?
Right, there you go.
That math.
It's probably
also
cheaper
math.
too.
It probably is. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a big Valentine's. Like I've never.
Yeah.
You know, and I've dated girls in the past that were very much so into it.
Right.
And I definitely fucked that one up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's like you get roses, you take her to dinner, you get her a card, maybe some chocolate.
Right.
Right. You're not going all out.
Right.
It's $500.
It's true.
Well, okay. It's $500 if you take her in a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
$300 if you don't.
Right.
I could spend that on something else. Like I could put $500 towards a trip. And it's like, hey, look, I can take you to dinner and get you roses for Valentine's Day, or we're going to go to the Caribbean for a week. You pick. Right? You know, like, what do you want to do?
Yeah. Like I don't know how much I spent going to Costa Rica, but I had miles.
Mm-hmm.
We probably spent around $1,000 to go to Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's half the trip.
4 days.
That's half the trip.
Right.
So she's not mad at you on February 14th. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather be her mad at me on that one day than we have a great week.
Also, Valentine's Day is one of those where luckily my wife is once again awesome. And she's like, no, we are not going out to eat on Valentine. Because it's everywhere is absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
And it's all because it's Valentine's Day. It's all like
It's
two
mandatory,
people.
right?
And so they're like every restaurant's full.
The only thing I do like about Valentine's Day in restaurants is they have a preset menu. Most places.
That's true.
Right. So when you go there, there's no, it's like, okay, you want to go to this
Right.
place? Okay, cool. This is what we're eating.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh,
I
well,
wonder, do you think Hooters would be busy on Valentine's Day?
Honestly, probably,
Oh.
yeah.
Really?
I feel like the whole stigma
yeah, just
of
filled with a
like,
bunch of dudes.
oh, yeah. I feel like the whole stigma of like, oh, you're just going there to look at chicks' boobs is like really gone.
It's gone,
And
yeah.
now it's just like,
Well, I don't
it's
know.
like
When's the
it's
last
a
time you've
gimmick.
been to one?
I go all the time.
That's a good question.
It is literally, that is my favorite wing.
I don't think the name should be the name anymore. That's not how it is.
No, they should change it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, you know, like there's some restaurants where the name directly correlates to what you're walking into.
Yeah.
That one doesn't anymore.
No.
No. But there's other ones too. Like there's a great taco shop in DFW called Velvet Taco.
I was worried. The first time we went there, I'm like, I'm going to have to keep this receipt because I'm going to have to, my wife's my accountant. And I was afraid if she saw $100 and some or whatever to Velvet Taco that she'd think we went to a strip
Now,
club.
mind you, that was the two of us and we only got tacos.
You know what though? Velvet Taco is a great name for a stripper joint.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's a place in Arizona called the Pink Taco.
Also great name.
And it was in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it just so happened that Hooters was on the second floor of that building.
Was that an actual strip club or a restaurant?
No, they were both restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awesome. Like, oh, where's Pink Taco? I'm like, it's below Hooters. And they're like,
Oh.
no, really? I'm like, no, really. I don't know how that city let that happen. They're just like, yeah, we'll approve the permits. They didn't look around.
That's
clearly
genius.
Yeah.
Did they have special signage between the two of them?
I think at the time, because this is 20 something years ago at this point. I think at the time, Hooters was too like corporate to play that game, and Pink Taco was not corporate, and they were just having a blast with it, you know.
Right.
And
Because like I would picture like a big street sign that went 2 stories that was like a chick in a swimsuit, and it had the Hooters top and the Pink Taco lower like swimsuit or something, right? Like
that makes sense. Yeah. Well, happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yeah, sorry.
But before we get into some of the news stuff we want to talk about, Justin, we get any questions from?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me double check.
We'll dive into the news.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Circle back to the questions.
So one of the big things I want to, well, not big things, but one of the things I want to talk about in the news is a new headline came out on Half Wheel. I don't know if we talk about Half Wheel a lot. But Half Wheel is a cigar publication website, halfwheel.com.
They do more than just cigar reviews.
They do all anything
news,
cigar related, industry related.
When somebody releases a new product, whether it's a cigar or a lighter or a cutter,
if a company changes leadership, if they get a new director of sales or national sales manager, sometimes even reps, not so much, but they go over some reviews and ratings. They go over, the year in review. They go over news. They cover all the trade shows, including the ones not in this country. They cover all the cigar fests. They're very, very, very good. It's getting information out.
Yeah, good media. Yeah. If you're into the cigar world, it's a good media.
Or even if you're not that into it and you want to learn.
Yeah, that's true too.
There's a lot of information on this. Not so much as like the how-tos, but a lot of the whys behind companies do things or legislation or whatever.
Yeah, state laws, they have all that broke down on their website.
Yeah. But like they track all the different raising and lowering of state tobacco taxes or excise tax, whatever you want to call it. But so this one, the headline is Trump official talks removing Nicaragua from the free trade agreement. So there's a trade agreement put in place between, I don't know, not all the Central America countries, but there's a chunk of them.
Yeah.
And it's called the CAFTA, the Central America Free Trade Agreement. That was done. When was that done? It was done a long time ago. Not a long time, but I don't know if it has it in here, but it's been around for a minute.
I think it's 2004 is what I'm reading. Does that sound right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in this one, but it was early 2000s when it came out. And essentially it allowed for trade in between Central America countries and North America countries without jumping through a shitload of legal hoops. Yeah. It was like, hey, we're all borders. We're all touching almost. Like, let's just be able to, do trade in between our countries without the excess legalities to it. And they made this agreement that went in very, very detail about how they can operate, what they can and can't do, how they can and can't do it. I mean, there's so much that's in it. And so one of the reasons that these talks are supposedly happening allegedly, is because, as it says here, in 2023, Nicaragua exported $2 billion worth of textiles, and apparently to the U.S. 35% of its total exports to the U.S. Late last year, the Biden administration opened an investigation into Nicaraguan human rights practices under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974. Around 160 comments were made, one of which came from Milliken and Company, which is the largest textile companies in the world. And so the Biden administration is essentially accusing them of human rights violations.
Right.
That might be true. I don't know.
It is according to U.S. standards for sure.
But yes.
Right.
So let me just keep going with the article and then I'll break down my viewpoint on it. I mean, there was some stuff done. The Nicaraguan government's been accused of things. There's Chinese-owned textile companies that are allegedly engaged in abuse of international recognized human rights and labor rights, which, China's kind of known for that.
Yeah.
But there's Chinese-owned textile companies in Nicaragua that actually use cotton from China. And then they ship the products into the United States and it says made in Nicaragua.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Like that's not, I'm paraphrasing, and that's not exactly what this article says by any means. But 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah. Well, the government of Nicaragua and the U.S. have never, since
Noriega, or not since the Cosa Nostra war.
Yeah. I mean, we've never got along real great. But even the current leader, he's on his, third or fourth term between him and his wife and Ortega. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's been a contentious relationship between the governments.
Yeah. like, and it says in here, the committee's letters cited how in 2023, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol detained 6 shipments from Nicaragua because they tested positive for Xinjiang cotton, which is from that one region in China. So it is happening,
right?
The company claims that they've already lost $50 million in sales, which says it's contributed to 15% workforce reduction in the closing of 3 plants, and that another $90 million in sales was at risk in the coming years. It's unclear how much of that's directly related to Nicaragua. And then we're talking about Milliken, which is that large company. But the largest consequences of removing Nicaragua from the CAFTA agreement would be the introduction of tariffs on products.
Right.
Because that's kind of the negotiating tactic that's being used to get other countries to play ball. It's either, hey, you do it this way, or you're going to have this tariff on your products.
Right.
And then they math it out and they're like, oh, that's going to wreck our country. So, hey, how about we do it your way?
Right.
And so far, it's only been 3 weeks now with the current administration. But any proposed tariff that he's put out or the administration's put out so far has not been put in place.
Right.
Because what they're trying to negotiate is actually being accomplished in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
We don't know the exact details because what we've been told is, okay, tariffs are on hold for 30 days while we figure this out. But the delay of 30 days is because they're agreeing. Yeah. They're just working the details.
Right. And when they do tariffs, it's not always blanket across the board with all products.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just one.
They pick automobiles or they pick oil or they pick, stuff like that.
Yep.
It's not like it's a blanket thing usually. So,
yeah, they usually pick a group of products or a,
they usually pick a group of products that can be made in the United States.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
That it's directly affecting U.S. production or U.S. competition. Right.
Yeah.
That being said, you really can't do cigars in the United States. You can, but in very small quantities.
Yeah.
Like there's just no tobacco grown here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I don't think it's a competitive product that we would have to worry about. I don't know, but that's kind of my guess. But.
And ultimately it's figuring out if the focus of this article and the focus of all these allegations are on the textile industry.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the one that gets the tariffs put on it. What I think, and this is me speculating, that's it. But what I think would happen is the news headline, if this decides to go this way in the future, the news headline will say, Trump threatens tariffs on Nicaragua.
Yeah.
But what the details are that probably aren't put in the article is those tariffs are for the textile products coming out of Nicaragua.
Right.
It's not a blanket across the board for everything that they do. Because why tariff coffee if the textile industry is the issue?
Right.
Why tariff cigars? You know what I mean? Like I understand the threat of tariffing everything from that country because that holds more weight.
Yeah.
But that's the threat.
Yeah.
That's not what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's worse for human rights violations is when you put half the country out of business.
Yeah.
And the people can't work.
Yeah.
But that's worse for the people.
Now, ultimately, though, that falls on the Nicaraguan government.
I agree. But I'm just saying.
That is not the United States government's fault.
Right.
We're doing what's best for our country.
Yeah. But I mean,
they need to do what's best for theirs.
My reference was the Biden administration talking about the human rights things, right?
Right.
So,
yep.
I know for a fact they're not in the factories like beating people and not paying them anything. And,
at least on the cigar side.
Yeah, on the cigar side. I guess I've never been in.
I've never been in a t-shirt factory down there. I've driven by them.
Yeah.
And man, they pump out some t-shirts.
They're big.
But one of the, speaking of t-shirts in Nicaragua, so when two sports teams in the United States play their end of season game, because it's different, Stanley Cup, Super Bowl, World Series, it would depend. It doesn't matter what the sport is. When they're getting ready for that game, right? If you've ever watched a sports game, it doesn't matter what one it is.
The AFC Championship.
As soon as the clock ends or the last pitch is thrown or whatever ends that game, the winning team is fully head to toe covered in branded event specific champion, world champion stuff, shirts, everything, right? All these are made for both teams. Only one of them actually gets released and sold.
Yeah.
The other ones, if you go to certain countries in Central America, you will see, such and such World Series champion 2004, and you're like, they didn't win.
Yeah.
They did not win. I know who won that, and it was not that team. And you'll see them walking around, and they're like, world champs, yeah.
That would be a fun thing to collect.
Right?
If you're a sports guy, like that would be a fun thing to collect.
Yeah. But yeah, that's so let's talk briefly what we would think would happen if Nicaragua gets removed from the free trade agreement. I think we kind of covered it.
Yeah. Well, one, I don't think cigars would be put on that.
It depends on how
even if they're removed from the free trade agreement, does not mean that they're going to have tariffs.
No, but that's the first step in order to apply a tariff to that country. Right. But just like everything else, that tariff was used as a negotiating tool.
Yeah.
This is probably being used as also a negotiating tool. American influence in the world is huge, especially when it comes to economic side of things with other countries. We don't actually have to do anything. But if the government says things or leans in a certain direction, it has a global implication economically.
Right.
And that's literally all that's been happening in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But now it's coming a little close to home.
Yeah.
Could it affect the cigar industry? Maybe.
Yeah, it could.
Would it be detrimental? Probably not. How long will it last?
Yeah.
How much is it going to be? Is it only certain products? People in Central America are very
well, I'm just saying there's a reason that China owns companies in other countries to get around the tariffs, right?
Yeah. But so the people in Central America are very they truly believe the adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't do that. Okay, well, I'm going to do it like this then.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you can't build this. You can't go there. We can't get this here in this time. And they're like, hold my beer, essentially, I get a feeling that if something's put in place, that there's going to be a workaround that shows up real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know how or what. I have ideas, but I'm not going to put them out there. But no, they're going to continue business. I mean, look what happened. Castro came in and took over an entire country. And the cigar industry was just like deuces.
Yeah.
They packed their seeds and left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit's still going to work.
And I wonder what the short-term effects were on that.
I'd like to know
like when Kennedy put the embargo against Cuban cigars. I mean, I wonder how long it took for everybody to like relocate and rebound. And I bet it was a couple years, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think that even just how long does it take you to travel to somewhere else, find a piece of property, go through that process?
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to plant, and then you have to process.
Right.
They didn't leave with tobacco; they left with seed.
Yeah.
So it was probably 5 or 6 years before they actually got it into.
But I wonder if the market felt it for that long, because there's already.
But I feel like the market back then was so different, though.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like, plus cigars weren't. Everything was just different. Your price points were way different.
Yeah.
The amount of cigar shops and lounges that are, they weren't as prevalent, but you could smoke almost anywhere.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anybody in the industry who would know the answer to that question still.
That was in the United States.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
That's the hard part. Because I know people outside of the United States, but they have no idea what U.S. sales were doing at that time.
Yeah.
Because they were, either in Cuba or in Central America.
I bet the Newmans would be a good one to ask that question to. They've been in business forever.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I might next time I run across them, just
Hey guys.
What happened?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been asked this before.
Right. In the last century.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they got to be able to figure out just based off of their numbers.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it probably was great for them. They've been in business for 100 years. So
yeah, like they were through all of that.
Yeah.
And they had a factory in Miami.
Yeah.
Or in Tampa, excuse me.
Yeah, still. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
What's next? So anyway, I think the bottom line is we're not super worried about it yet at all.
We'll pay attention to it. We'll see what's going on with it. But
I mean, at the rate we're going, it could happen in 3 days from now, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows? But
yeah, this article was put out February 4th. Today we're recording, it's February 6th. But it hasn't changed since.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yep. Other than that, in cigar news, there's some states that are trying to raise their state excise tax for tobacco. Colorado actually just introduced a bill to lower it.
Yeah.
Or to cap it.
Right. Which would
essentially they would lower it, I think, roughly like 60 something %.
Yeah.
If they do that, which would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
For the consumers, for the people that live in Colorado that are getting raped by the state, you know, for what? Like,
yeah.
What is that tax revenue actually doing?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But shit, other than that, I mean, it's kind of a slow week. It was a really busy week last week and the week before.
Yeah.
But in the cigar world, we got a trade show coming up. We got that in a couple months. We got a Nicaragua trip coming up in 3 days.
Yeah.
We got NFG coming up.
Yes.
March 8th. I believe there's a handful of tickets left for that.
Yeah.
I believe the Underground put out a tweet today saying they had about 20 tickets left.
Yeah.
So
and they teased our event cigar.
They sure did. They sure did.
Yeah.
So.
He asked me for it. I'm like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
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 Like, luckily, I just got a picture an hour ago. So
I know. Yeah. I mean, there's some companies doing price increases for 2025. We did one last year.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be okay for this year.
Yeah.
As of right now.
Next year, I'm sure we're going to, like, what we did is we waited like 5 years before we did a price increase. Mm-hmm. And it was a substantial one.
Yeah.
But I think what we're going to do is slowly do the small percentages on the way up because we probably should.
Well, inflation's happening every year.
Yeah.
All of our costs are going up.
Yeah.
Shipping costs, import fees, everything. Yeah, even the price of tobacco is going up.
A lot. Yeah.
It's like exponentially.
Yeah.
Which is, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a seed in the ground, it grows.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. There's a lot of work that goes into it, especially on the processing side. Well, yeah.
What else? Do you want to talk about the Cuban headlines that they read?
What was that?
That the Trump administration is not allowing people to bring in Cuban cigars for personal consumption now. They didn't really put out a reason. They said they were going to make it harder for U.S. people to travel to Cuba, and they're not letting people bring back cigars and rum anymore. But I don't know if it's in effect yet, or if it was just there wasn't really an effective date, or if it had passed for sure.
I think it was just an article because I can't find any
that they were talking about it. Doesn't affect me. I don't care.
Right.
I like Nicaraguan rum better than Cuban rum. I'll take any heat I get from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like those. Nicaraguan rum. Yeah. I have a bottle of Cuban rum. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's just
I would rather have Florida County.
Right. I mean, everything that I'm seeing right here, there's nothing that's put in place that I know of because everything else is saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last update was September 24th, 2020.
Now, I would like to visit Cuba. I hear the Cuban people are great, and it's just a good time. I'd like to go down to Cuba sometime, but I kind of want to wait till it's like, there's not going till it's easy, I guess. So
when you can bring some cigars back.
No, I don't really care about that. Cuban cigars are okay, but yeah.
Yeah, it's it's so funny, some of these articles though, because they're like old. Like this one keeps pulling up a thing from the Treasury from 1998.
Yeah,
and it's like, why do you still have, like, it's been changed since then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. So Trump, maybe that article that you read was from 2020.
No, it was just in Half Wheel.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like a couple days ago.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's like the third one down. Oh no, it's Nicaragua. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
I'm looking forward to. I just want to see what they have to say on it.
Yeah. Oh shit, I don't see it anymore either.
Huh. Yeah, it might have been an old one then, because there's another article that I found.
Well, it can't be that old because it referenced the Trump administration.
Well, it was during his first term.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. No, here, let me pull it up.
Oh, disregard.
So September 23rd, 2020.
Oh, we don't need to cover that then.
Yeah. President Donald Trump on Wednesday banned U.S. citizens from bringing home rum or cigars from Cuba and the staying at Cuban government-owned hotels as he sought to lock in the Cuban-American vote before the election.
Huh.
But yeah.
Sorry.
It's,
fake news.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why it pulled it up.
That's weird that it pulled up though. But yeah. Because I was just like, I can't find this anywhere.
All right.
But that's good. That's good that that's not something else being talked about.
Yeah. Justin, did you get any questions or comments?
We did get one question. We had a question come in. Don't know if y'all have covered it before, but am I allowed to come into the Warfighter shop to buy cigars?
No. You specifically are not allowed to come down here.
Everybody else can.
Just you, sir? No.
Sorry, Niall.
Does he have a name? Did you?
Niall NASCAR.
Okay.
It's got a picture of a classic GTO.
Oh, yeah, then you can.
Yeah. You're more than welcome. And if you bring your vehicle, yeah. No, you are more than welcome to come down to the shop.
Anybody is.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have a cigar lounge. We don't have an area for you to just come and hang out, smoke a cigar. Depending on what our schedules are that day and time, and just, depending on a lot of factors. Yeah. If we can, we will sit down and we will have a cigar with you.
Yeah.
It is something that we thoroughly enjoy doing.
And sometimes we have to ignore you because we have a lot on our plate.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just buried in the weeds.
We will definitely say hi.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes we're busy, believe it or
not. But yeah, so can you come down to Warfighter Tobacco headquarters? By all means.
Yeah, we have a small retail shop right in the front.
Yep.
It's open to the public. Yeah, we're usually here from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So
unless we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturdays are not so much, and Sundays definitely not.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I have another question for y'all.
Yeah.
Cool.
Super Bowl's this weekend. Who y'all? I like that. I know both of y'all don't watch football. John watches football by proxy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and by proxy, I probably know who you're. Well, maybe you're not.
I know. No. So I know who's playing the Super Bowl.
But
I will never forget that. I think it was about 8 years ago. We were sitting in Cigars Lounge in Lincoln, Nebraska, And one of the teams playing in the current Super Bowl was playing in that Super Bowl against my team, the Patriots. And I spent 3/4 of letting every single person in that entire place talk shit to me, and I didn't say a word.
Mm-hmm.
No, wasn't that the Patriots Ravens game?
I thought it was the Chiefs.
I think it was the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There's what year was that? I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
2017.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You might be right.
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Was it Chiefs?
Chiefs,
Yeah.
Chiefs, Patriots.
Yeah. The Patriots won.
Yep.
Yeah. And they came back.
Yeah.
And I kept telling everyone, I'm like, it's okay. We're a fourth quarter team. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then they came back.
And people like your team's the Patriots, but you're not like a diehard Patriots fan.
No.
Like you,
But
like,
if you talk enough shit to me, I'm going to lose it
But-
when I know I'm right.
but when people found out you were a Patriots fan, there was some shit talking.
There was a lot.
3/4 of that.
And I just nodded and smiled the whole time.
Because it was
I
like
did not engage.
They were down. It was like 56-20 something. They were down, and they came back and fucking put a fucking whooping on the fourth quarter there. Yeah.
And it was like, I think at one point, it might even been you. You're like, hey, you might want to tone it down a little bit. You're starting to piss people off.
You can never bet against Brady, especially in
it was
Super
literally,
Bowl.
I believe it was like 31-3 or some shit.
Look at the Ravens game. I think it was the Ravens. Because it would have been a lot worse, I think, if it was.
That was a different game. That wasn't a Super Bowl game. Or maybe it was.
I don't
know.
That's 2018, 2019, 2020.
What about earlier than that, though? Because I feel like it was.
That was against Philly. Oh, no, that was against Atlanta. That was 2017 in Atlanta.
Oh,
when
yeah.
we came back.
Oh,
that was embarrassing.
That still haunts Falcons fans to this day.
It was the Falcons.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That's the one. That's the game.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, Patrick Mahomes is kind of taking that torch of like, I can be down 14.
Click on that one. I want to see what it was in the third, the end of the third.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was when the fourth quarter,
it was
the Patriots were like,
yeah, it's 21-3.
I guess we'll play.
Or
now.
21-9 or something like that. And they were just like, hold my beer.
Yeah. And then also, once again, won it in overtime.
So, like, I
just can't bet against Brady.
I appreciated the fact that they were very passionate about their team. But I think they forgot who they were playing against. So this year, just by default, I have to root for the team who's playing against Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
It just so happened that my old lady, that's her team.
And she is a diehard.
She's a diehard. Like, even when the Patriots were at their peak and I lived in Boston, I wasn't as diehard of a fan as Mal is with the Eagles. Yeah. Like, I knew the teams, I knew what was going on, I knew the news because I had to, because I was bartending in Boston at the time. And if you don't know sports, you're fired.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know like what the players did on their off time for fun on a Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Right.
She knows.
My team, the Texans, lost to the Chiefs and the refs. We lost to both of them. You can't change my mind on this.
Kansas City definitely pays off the refs.
Something fucking going on.
I saw a TikTok or whatever it was, and it was somebody making cookies for the game, and it was little ref jerseys with the Kansas City logo on the ref jersey.
I learned how good AI is getting because there were a bunch of videos of like Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes making out with refs. And I was like, so my Texans lost to the Chiefs, and I immediately sent Mal a message on Instagram. Was like, I just became the biggest Philly fan. Like, fuck the Chiefs. I don't want to see them. Also, I don't want to see them make history either, because this would be the three-peat.
Yeah. I'm kind of a by proxy default Chiefs fan, because in Nebraska, that's the closest NFL team to Nebraska.
There's nothing else.
Right. So everybody's a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
And, so that I've kind of leaned that direction. Now, if they lose, it won't affect me in the slightest. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I'll probably root for the Chiefs. Like,
and originally I was rooting for the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes went to Texas Tech.
Oh shit, that's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
That
Or
is
it next?
It's this Sunday.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Luckily, we don't leave.
Oh,
till
you're
the
gonna be
next
up
day.
late.
That's like I have to be up at 2 a.m. to fly to Nicaragua.
I straight up told my wife, I was like, odds are I'm probably not going to sleep. I was like, I'll sleep
sleep
at
on
the
the plane.
plane or at the airport.
Well, luckily it's an
okay.
hour flight and then a
You know what?
3-hour flight.
Just-
So you have
Jesus, take the wheel. We'll sleep on the trip up to Esteli from Managua.
Bingo.
that's not gonna happen either.
No, all of us.
Yeah.
So, John, you're go Birds. Scott, you going?
I mean,
I'll go Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
it's yeah.
You're go Birds by proxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's
same thing for me.
I have to.
Yeah.
It's not because I want to. I'm blinking, by the way. Help.
One thing I respect about Mel is we went on a hunting trip, and she has a Warfighter hat. She has a hat of the ranch that we were on, but on game day she wears her Phillies hat.
Yeah.
She's like, we haven't lost in like 7 games since I've been wearing this hat. I was like, fucking respect it.
Yeah.
She's got it down to a science.
Yeah. That's so funny. Like every time any Philly sports team's on, I'm like, they can't hear you. Like I know the louder you get, the more you think, but they still don't. I can't. Like the neighbors can. Guys on TV can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw recently we got a whole bunch more comments on the night shift. Congratulations comments and stuff. We must
Yeah.
put it out on social media or something recently again. So
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was gonna grab one, but I haven't had one of these in a very long time.
yeah.
Yep.
That's it for me, boys.
Cool.
Y'all got anything else?
Not really.
No.
So I think for next week, I don't know if we'll have the show because you guys will all be in Nicaragua, but I think you're going to do a show and it just might be put out late maybe.
It just depends if we can actually upload
Yeah.
in Nicaragua.
Right.
I don't know if their internet is the same as our internet.
It's not bad. You might be able to get away with it.
But we've never tried to upload.
But I went live from the factory, remember?
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
No, it wasn't the greatest, but I was surprised it
Yeah.
had enough to let me do that.
The thing with the uploading is there's times where we upload here
Yeah.
in the shop and it still takes 8 hours.
Yeah.
That means
I have personally shut down Warfighter's internet because I'm trying to upload to like Spotify, YouTube, all the places. But yeah.
Yeah. So if there's not one next week, that's why.
we'll have one. We just can't get it published.
So maybe there'll be 2 the following week.
There will be some really cool.
You know what? Let's try to do 2 the following week because you guys can put the one out that you do down there if you do one.
If we can.
You probably
yeah.
will.
Well, I know we're going to record stuff. I just don't know if we can get it published. That's the
But I'm saying we can release it the following week and then me and you can sit down and do one and do like a post Nicaragua trip.
Follow up or
Yeah.
we'll figure out the schedule.
Yeah.
If you want to find out if we're going to upload, make sure you're subscribed and following everywhere that you watch the show. And that's the best way to know if we put one out.
Yeah.
But I forgot the Super Bowl is Sunday. So, I'm going to go pack because I just lost a day.
Mal's got to do her rituals and everything.
And I'm surprised she didn't tell me. Like, I'm assuming that we're probably going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
probably going to get hard for you to get out of that.
Yeah. No, I can't.
No.
But I would expect the same.
Yeah.
Like if the Patriots in the Super Bowl, which no fucking chance they are, but if they were back in my day. I would expect the same thing. What's that?
Mike Vrabel's back. He's head coach of the Patriots. Go get him, Vrabes.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team,
I'm glad that at one point in my life, I had a pro sports team that was that good.
You had 2.
The
Celtics. Holy shit.
The Red Sox, they weren't that great, but they did break the curse.
That is true.
And the Bruins been playing pretty decently over the past couple of decades. So I'm happy with my teams.
I'm from Nebraska. We don't have a pro anything team.
No, but you did have some very successful football years.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For UNO.
Yeah, luckily, when I was growing up in high school, those were the best.
And then when I moved there, everyone talked about how amazing this team was, and they sucked the whole time. I was like, you guys, this is it.
I think we finished with the 50-50 record this year. Which is
literally the first year I was in Nebraska, every game I'd either watch or go to, they lost. And I was like, that's it. I can't anymore. I'm sorry, guys. This is my fault.
I watch a podcast called Bussin' with the Boys.
Yeah.
And one of the hosts is a stout. He went and played at Nebraska and then went and played in the pros.
Right.
And he is a stout Cornhusker fan.
Yeah.
Every year leading up to he's like,
this is our year.
We're gonna beat these guys. Like they go down the schedule and he's like, we're finishing this year 10-3. And every year it's just like we went 500.
And Nebraska's always close. Like they always fuck it up in the last quarter.
They started strong this year.
Yeah, they did.
Very strong. And but
yeah, we'll see.
Next year's their season.
You know, it's hard to recruit when your team sucks and you're in Nebraska.
That is true.
Like if you sucked and you're in Miami, you still might get some people.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, this is cool.
Absolutely.
But it's cold during football season in Nebraska.
Oh.
I mean, they do have a beautiful stadium.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah. It's a fun atmosphere too.
You know, I think it was the last show we talked about the coolest places we smoked cigars.
Yeah.
We got to smoke a cigar at the 50-yard line.
That was cool.
Oh, really?
Like in the center of the field, 50-yard line. We were also drinking beer. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Definitely that is not supposed to happen.
Like they yelled at us when we were leaving and they're like, "Will you guys drink?" No. Yeah.
Wait, like drinking is more not
You
allowed
can't drink
than
in the stadium.
smoking? Wait, you can't drink in the stadium?
No, not at all.
What?
Like they don't
College
have bars. They don't have anything.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird.
That's not all college stadium. It's just
Yes.
wow.
Don't ask me.
Don't ask me either because I went for my first game and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go grab beer. I'll be right back. Game kind of sucks right now." And they're like, "Where are you getting beer?" I'm like, "The concession stand." They're like, "Oh, buddy, you can't get beer there." I'm like,
What?
See,
and literally, I left and went to the bar.
Now,
Wow.
I have an idea for Nebraska. We pay a lot of former coaches a lot of money that we have fired. If you open up alcohol sales in that stadium,
They could pay them all off.
it would be paid off in like 3 games.
That's
Because Nebraska.
It would be paid off before the first whistle blows.
Yeah.
holy.
When I was in the National Guard in Nebraska, they would let guard guys do security. And so leading up to the game, you had to be in uniform, and then you would.
Yeah.
And all we really did was confiscate booze. One of my ROTC lieutenants was coming through, and I confiscated all of his booze. And when I confiscated it as a minor in the Guard, what did I do? I put it in my cargo pockets.
Yeah. This is mine now. I am the captain now.
And then they let us go watch the rest of the game. So I sat next to him and I drank his booze
Oh, that's such a power move.
as a PFC.
How's the game, sir?
That's crazy that there is a single sports stadium that doesn't have alcohol sales.
That was the only time I went in there.
You know what? And I've never heard people bitch about it.
I did. I left the game.
Well, but yeah. But
I didn't even make it through the first quarter.
like I grew
That's how soon.
Wow.
I was like, I'm thirsty.
I grew up in Nebraska, and it's never been like a huge deal. I don't know why, because you would think. But maybe they know that like everybody there would be fucking schmammered.
Good. They are anyway.
They are anyway.
You
You're
know,
right.
but I feel like it wouldn't incentivize them to just get blackout before they walk in.
That's
so they
true.
sober up by the end of the game, and then they go get blackout again as soon as they leave.
That is true.
Like, why don't you just let them drink and then people will pace themselves throughout the day? You have
No.
way less.
Well, I think that's your mistake. I don't think people would actually pace themselves. I think they would.
I think they're
Now they're
so
showing up.
used to just binge drinking before and after. You know, like, yeah, they'll take a couple games to work itself out, but people realize, like, oh man, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You know, before it was 2 sprints.
Yeah.
Now it's just a whole day marathon. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I know when we go to the Astros games, they have like streamlined kiosks where it's just the big fridges and you grab what you want to drink and you set it on the little scanner thing.
Oh,
So it
perfect.
scans it for
That's
you.
So nice.
And then there's just the one person there that either restocks and checks
Yeah.
IDs. And you fucking slam your card in there. They go, cool. And then you just leave. Like they have it so streamlined
Wow.
there. Yeah.
That's nice.
It's fucking awesome.
That's one thing I've never understood about, and I get it because of profit margins. But stadiums that do draft beer, It's like, you know how much money you're losing because they have to sit there and pour that.
Yeah.
You know,
Just hand them a can. Who's next?
here's
Absolutely.
an idea for whoever's building the next stadium. Every 10 rows, you have tap handles coming up, and you have one server just fucking doing the taps. Every 10. How hard would that be?
Oh, so
As much money as
so
they put in those stadiums?
Or it would be, I like the bank teller idea better. They have the little tubes that run to every seat.
And you just
and you just put it in and thunk, hand shows up. You're like, thank you. And you just put your card in right there. I don't want to deal with people anymore. They suck.
Yep.
People in I wouldn't even call it the restaurant, in the hospitality industry are fucking horrible nowadays.
Yeah. Now there's some good ones. And when you're a good
And
one,
they're amazing.
I tip you well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is a rarity.
But when you just, when you suck at your job, you don't even get the order correct, and then you expect a tip, or you give me a look when I only give you 20%.
Yeah.
Like, you're the fucking problem, bud. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bank teller machine at stadiums that would just pop a beer up in front of you. That would be so nice.
Yeah.
And efficient.
Yeah. They just got to
It
figure
just
out.
comes into your armrest hand.
Yeah, it's just like, thunk. You're like, hey, yeah. You just got to figure out how to do with a hot dog without squishing it.
Well, they do them out of the launchers, so I'm sure they can do it.
It's the going part's not the hard part. It's the stopping part. Have to get really accurate. Open your mouth wide. Okay.
Have y'all heard of the 999 challenge?
The 9 beers, 9 hot dogs
In 9 innings.
in 9 innings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
So every inning you have a beer and a hot dog.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How long of a period is that?
It's the course of a game.
Yeah,
It
but
depends on
what
how
is that?
fast.
Average is about 3 hours now.
But sometimes they're
Sometimes
quick,
shorter,
and
yeah.
sometimes they're 6 hours.
I think it's possible.
But then usually if it's 6 hours, it's not only 9.
Yeah.
Usually like 14,
Yeah.
18, 20.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be game for that.
Right?
I mean, I've done the
I'm-
9 holes, so 9 beers.
I've played bar golf
Ooh.
before, which is one of my favorite activities. And so it's just like regular golf, but every hole is a different bar,
Oh.
and your score is based on what you drink,
Oh.
right? And so ultimately, the lowest score wins. So if you walk into a bar and you do a shot, that's only 1 stroke. But if you get a beer, it's 3.
Oh.
Right? You have to get the way we played is you had to get 2 per bar. So you could do 2 shots for 2 points. You could do a shot in a mixed drink. That'd be 3 points. You could do a shot in a beer. That'd be 4 points because a shot was 1, a mixed drink is 2, and a beer is 3. And the lowest score wins. And so we had 2 different courses. We had a 9-hole course and we had an 18-hole course. We attempted the 18-hole course once. We never did that again.
Yeah.
So we just stuck with our 9-hole course.
I would have to do shots because for me, quantity is what kills me. Like I couldn't drink that much fluid if it was all beer.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to do 2 at each.
Yeah. Like
And
there's
so that it's
18 beers. Jesus fuck. There's no way.
well, some people can, but if they did 18 shots, they'd be on their fucking floor.
Yeah. I can,
You know,
Yeah.
like if I did 18 beers, you couldn't get me to the next bar. I'd be so bloated and I'd
Yeah.
be peeing every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like I'll get there in an hour, guys. Sorry, I got to pee again. You know, and so that's why it gets interesting because not only do you have to figure out how you want your score, because you get the new guys. This is my first time. I'm only doing shots, and then like bar 4, you're like, hey, "How you doing, buddy?" Oh, this is such a good day, you know. So you have to game plan how you're going to drink these 9 bars and what you think your score is going to be.
Yeah.
But then you got to figure out who's around you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh man, that guy's been slamming shots all the time. He looks okay. You know what I mean? Like, so it turns in, it's really fun.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you're just blackout shit face at
Yeah.
the end of it. One of my favorite ones is we played bar golf during a snowstorm. And so as drunk as we're just slipping, sliding through the streets. There's not a soul out there because, you know, we ended up getting like 1.5 feet of snow. And we were convincing bars to stay open because we had like 20 people. And I'm like, look, we're going to drink. Like, this is what we're doing. And then anytime they heard us, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, come on in.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a 30-minute shit show. And then
Yeah.
we left and went to the next bar.
Was this in your
This is in Boston.
early 30s or late 20s or?
Oh, this was 2008, 2000. I think it was
Okay.
2009.
Yeah.
So I think I was still in my
Drinking age.
I was still in my 20s.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was only 27 at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah.
Yeah. I was in my prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't even play that game today.
Oh, no, that would hurt.
Yeah.
So that would hurt so bad. Maybe we can do like We do like a 3-hole tournament. You know what I mean?
Right over the course of 4 hours.
Yeah, we got 3 bars. We got to hit.
I play that game every time I go out. Usually, so.
A little par 3 course.
Yeah, you know, like can we just go to the driving range? We don't keep score. Just go to the bar. Yeah. We do putt. You just go to every bar that has a flight, and you have to order a flight from every bar. See what that does. That'd be fun.
That'd be a good time.
See you walk into a whiskey bar.
I had a flight of margaritas the other day. It was kind of cool.
You know, I enjoy
flavors.
flights.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's like when I don't know what I want to drink.
Yeah,
you know, because if I'm not doing like I've drank some pretty interesting stuff. If I'm not just doing whiskey, my go-to. But like some of the craft cocktails are really good.
Yeah.
But like the margarita flights, I've done a bunch. Mezcal flights. I wish they would do like a craft cocktail flight, but I know each drink is such a pain in the ass to make.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, oh, I want this 6 craft cocktails.
Yeah, I want
like, cool, I'll be back in 45 minutes.
Yeah, I want an old-fashioned flight.
Yeah.
But like when I do a flight of beer, that's about as much IPA as I can tolerate.
Oof. Like
because there's probably about 3 of them. 3 of the 6 are IPAs.
Every once in a while, I'm in a beer mood, but it's not like I want like a fancy IPA or a nice craft blah blah blah. No, I want like a Busch Light. I want like a Bud. Like I just want like that shitty nasty beer that I can like 2 sips and the whole can's done. And
like when it's when it's 120 and humid out. Yeah, I'll drink it.
And I'll have like 2 of those, and then I'm like, okay, no more.
Yeah, super cold one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I guess this one went a little long.
I was just trying to finish my cigar.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sign off with half a cigar left. But I don't know. Any final thoughts from anybody on anything we talked about or anything you want to add?
Oh, I don't know. Not really.
Drop down in the comments who you're rooting for this Super Bowl season. Chiefs, Eagles. You hope both teams lose. Let us know.
I hope they both lose. I want the refs to win.
I'm sure they will.
One way or another.
I'm spiteful.
What? Okay, so here's a question real quick. What cigar do you think the winning team's going to smoke?
Oh, well, I know Placencia has given out cigars to winning teams.
Yeah.
I know Padron has given out cigars to winning teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's ever a team that needs a victory cigar, though, hit us up. We can do that.
Yeah, it'll be better than the other cigars you get.
Yeah.
And it's so fitting.
Right.
It's such a fitting cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I have no idea what. Yeah. All I know is if I was on one of those sports teams, I would be bringing in boxes of cigars for everybody to smoke.
They usually do.
Well, I would pick them because I'd want everybody to smoke a cigar worthy of what we just did.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there's in the past, depending on the teams, there's been some cigars that have been smoked that I've noticed that I was like, that's what you fucking picked?
Yeah.
Like out of all the cigars that are out there, you picked
I named off the ones I kind of agreed with.
Yeah.
Okay, those kind of work.
There's been some that are just like, no, guys. God, that's like, hey, we won champagne. No, I'm doing Four Locos. Like, bro, like, come on, man.
Now, I would party with that guy.
I'm not saying
you'd go to jail with that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. Y'all brought it up like after like a big championship game and they send the losing team stuff. Have y'all ever seen the videos of like at the World Series, you know how they cover the locker rooms in the and everything? Have you ever seen the videos of the losing teams having to go back to their like clubhouse and it's
covered?
It's covered like they were like they had the goggles and the champagne and they're just like, we don't get any of this shit. I'm like, oh, that's fucking tough. Like you just lost the biggest game of your career. And I'm looking at all.
I wish
there's just one guy that's like, fuck it, I'm drinking the whole thing.
I wish that like the winning team, you walk in and there's like bottles of champagne on tables and goggles and all this stuff, you know, and then you go in the other and they have like cupcakes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the good consolation prize, boy, you know, and then they still have all the stuff hang up. You want to throw them around, go for it. Like
get well soon balloons.
I think it was the Orioles this year. They won like their conference or something. And one of their star players is Jackson Holiday, but he's only 19 or 20. So they had a little spot for him. And it was like the bottle cooler, but it had an apple juice or sparkling apple juice and like a little teddy bear. Cider. And it had a little piece of paper that just said Jackson's Corner. And I was like, those are good teammates.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry for your loss. Oh, this is why we're not involved in professional sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We take the professional out of it.
Yeah, it's just sports at this point. We're just trying to have fun, build camaraderie. Well, I think this has gone on long enough. Yeah. So next week is a maybe.
Yeah.
And if it gets out, it's going to be awesome. If not, then the following weekend we'll have some awesome content from Nicaragua. We're going to try to get Gonzalo, the guy who runs our factory, on a podcast. We briefly got him on some FaceTime, but hopefully this time we can actually sit him down and get some of his story out there, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then bunch of cool stuff. But don't forget to check out our Valentine's Day sale. Don't forget to grab a box of the 4th edition Victory cigars, and don't forget to snag a dumpster. Hopefully by the time you heard this the second time on this show, you can still get one.
Probably maybe a week left.
First come, first serve. So jump on over there. But yeah, warfightertobacco.com for all your smoky treat needs. And yeah, see you guys next week.
Later.
Right?
Yep.
Bye guys.